Hi, welcome to
Hi.
Gender Adventures. Hello. So, today's episode is a little bit more of a downer, but we pride ourselves in being very real with you guys and being very forward and open. So today's episode is about depression and anxiety. It's a thing that we face in our world just in general, and it's a very real problem that we deal with and that we know millions of other people deal with.
We both have been suffering from our own forms of depression.
Yes.
I've been dealing with it for many years. Looking back, it always kind of like there's always been the low points, and then there have been times where things are okay. Those are usually times when I'm on like meds and things like that. At its worst, and especially with kind of how things have been going now, I know that my depression has been manifesting itself as kind of a severe lack of motivation. I'll be perfectly honest with you, it's made it kind of hard to record these videos. I feel tired all the time. Everything is a chore. Even things that I absolutely love to do, when I'm having a particularly bad day, my brain will be like, nah, I want to sleep, even if I've had a full 8 hours of sleep, which is rare.
Oh, are you saying that depression and anxiety affects your sleeping patterns?
Oh my god, yes I am. It's kind of a thing.
I have only ever been diagnosed with situational depression beforehand, before this, but also I haven't been talking to a therapist regularly until recently in the past year. Being actually diagnosed with depression is a little bit more new to me. I've been diagnosed with situational depression in the past, but granted, also before this, I have a therapist that I talk to for the past most of this year. So now I have somebody who is actually qualified to make those diagnoses, other than going, I feel really down. Must be nothing. So being able to talk to a professional has been helpful, and also identifying it. And problems that I've had have been problems with sleeping, fear of failure, which used to be the like, well, if I screw it up, at least I've learned how to fail.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned what not to do. And I've been finding myself very much reminiscent for the way that things were. And it's not so much that I'm reminiscent for my former body. That's not the case. Although, surprise, puberty sucks and menopause sucks. Put them together, and two negatives don't make a positive in this case.
Yeah.
They both suck. So I've been having a whole bunch of hormonal figuring things out. I meet with my doctor who's in charge of my testosterone soon, and we'll be getting that more balanced too. And then I might possibly be going on antidepressants, something I've never been on before. They scare me immensely, but I know that they've helped a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So I'm willing to give it a try. Otherwise, I also know that, sometimes there are other ways of handling depression too that aren't just medication.
And I mean, you bring up antidepressants. I've been on antidepressants. I'm just restarting these meds again. One of the things that it's easy to forget that they do when you're on them is they give you energy. I mean, they do more than that. They're more than just like an upper, but
you have the energy that the depression was sucking away.
I do.
You get that back.
Yeah, and it's not the magical cure-all or anything like that. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we've been doing is I know that or we know that going on walks helps us both.
Yeah,
and
taking Jet for a walk has been, when we have the time for it,
mm-hmm.
immensely helpful. Because exercise is great, but then also just kind of going out and enjoying nature when the weather allows.
It's very true. I personally, not everyone feels this way, but I personally like going for a drive and either listening to a positive podcast or some of my favorite music. it's a very meditative experience for me.
I really like doing my job. I really like being a massage therapist. That helps. And then also exercising. Even while I'm exercising, it's very cathartic. So.
And we're both seeing therapists, by the way.
Yes.
I think we can say that. Like,
yeah, we've said that before.
Like that would probably be my number one recommendation to anyone who starts to feel kind of this sort of down.
A lot of therapists have like sliding scales as far as payment goes. So if you think that, oh, I can't see a therapist because I don't make enough money, I just can't afford it, still call around and ask. They're doing their jobs because they want to help people. So there should be somebody who's willing to work with you. Otherwise, I know there are sometimes free support groups as well.
My therapist was actually recommended by your therapist.
Yep.
Because your therapist wasn't able to work with me, but
conflict of interest,
but knew someone else who was LGBTQ friendly, which is also very important, a very important thing for us.
Yes.
And referred me to her, and I've been seeing her for several months now.
And I actually found my therapist because I got a list from Planned Parenthood. Who, went, these are LGBTQ friendly doctors, chiropractors, therapists, gynecologists, and I still have that list, and it has been absolutely amazing in helping me kind of on my journey.
Planned Parenthood is a wonderful resource.
Yes, for so many different things.
And that's all we're going to say about that.
Everybody is different, though. Find things that work for you, for helping with that. If you find that you suffer from anxiety or depression, talk to a medical professional about how you have been feeling, if you've been feeling kind of down, and things like that.
If you have a family doctor that you go to, they can also help.
Yep.
In fact, that was how I ended up getting on my meds. My therapist told me, "Yeah, you seem to be experiencing a lot of symptoms of depression," and then I went and got a physical and told my doctor about these symptoms, and they said, "Yeah, it sounds like these antidepressants it sounds like this medication could be very good for you." So I'm back on them, and I've been on them a little while now, and I'm feeling much better, much more able to take on day-to-day tasks,
which has encouraged us to actually do a bunch of the show over a week.
That's the other thing is I did not know that this could be helpful, and like it's not going to work for everyone, but for those of you who are feeling this, who are feeling some of the experiencing depression and anxiety, if you're goal oriented, one of the things I've started doing is I have started creating a to-do list for every day of the week. And it includes the most minute things from making my bed, getting dressed, brushing my teeth, all those little things, to some of the larger projects broken down, like set up recording equipment, pick out clothes, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so I split all this up into these tiny, easy achievable tasks. And so every time I check one off, it gets that. I'm stealing words. It gives that boost, that momentum going. I did not know that could help, but it certainly has been.
Yeah, that is something that people have suggested. One of the things that my therapist suggested was giving that depressed voice in my head a name. Just give it a name, and then it gives you something to say, no, you're wrong. I'm not useless. I am still capable of doing things that I used to be able to do, or I'm capable of doing things that I've never been able to do because I've studied long enough to be able to know this, or so on and so forth. Sometimes that list method, here's a fine example, everybody's different. List method doesn't work very good for me because sometimes I give myself tasks that are a little too much to do in a day, and I then go, oh, yeah, even if I get 3/4 of the list done, I still go, wow, I still failed. And
It's
that makes it less healthy.
It's also good practice in not overloading yourself.
True.
So, like,
one of the things that does help me is that I make a list of things that I have accomplished. So I do them post tasks.
Yeah.
And then I go, hey, honey, I let out the dog and I took out trash and I cleaned the kitchen and I vacuumed and I did all of this, which sounds like a very long list. But really, honestly, all of that takes just like maybe an hour and a half tops.
I love when you send me texts like that.
Mm-hmm. Also, it means that you don't have to do those tasks.
This is true. This is very true.
And this is about splitting chore work, too.
Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Before we go, I do want to say that if you or someone you know is at risk of suicide or self-harm, you can reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at the number below. Please know that there is help available for anyone who is seeking it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, thanks for listening and joining us, and like and subscribe, share with other people, especially this video. It's not just about being transgender, it is about just how you're working with depression and anxiety, and we are not licensed therapists or psychologists or things like that, but we're just talking about our experiences. So please do share, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.